Hello, gorgeous friends. It is like towards the end of July. I cannot even believe how fast life is flying by. Flying by. And I got to start MBF today, the newest program, and I'm all in. I'm all in with my workouts. I'm all in with my nutrition. I'm like ready to rock, ready to go, ready to grow. And I wanted to chat with you guys today about being all in. Because if you're anything like me, you've like committed and recommitted to like yourself and your nutrition like 400 million times. And I wanted to talk about the difference between you actually do it and you actually stick to your goals and you don't. And I just want to give you like a little, I don't know what to call it, wake up call, I guess. You're human. Congratulations. And you will make mistakes. I know Steph is like, what? Excuse me. You will make mistakes. And I just finished 11 weeks of a postnatal test group that I got asked to be a part of. And just like everything, I started and I was like, I'm going to be 100% perfect. I'm never going to make any mistakes. I'm going to like slay my nutrition. I'm never going to do anything off and nothing wrong. And then I was human. And I made it like 2 weeks, maybe 3 of like solid, strong nutrition. And then I caved. And I've been a Beachbody lifer for 12 years. I have been a coach for almost 5. And in my experience, I've been obsessed with fitness for 11, 12 years. In that time, I have learned you are perfect if you keep trying. That is it. That is all. Because you will make mistakes. You will have a day where you get sick, or you will have a day where you totally don't know where the day went and you literally don't have the energy or time to push play, even though your workout's only 30 minutes. Or you will have that day where you had every intention to eat clean, but you realized that you forgot to bring stuff with you on the go. And now you have to eat out, and you can still make great choices when you're eating out, but you're still eating out. And there's always like variations when you're eating out where it's really not going to be that good for you, no matter, even if you're getting a salad, right? It's not as good as if you would have had a salad at home. So then you feel like a failure, or you feel like you got derailed or whatever. And really, in this thing called life, you are perfect if you never quit and if you never stop trying. And you will have those days where you mess up. And as long as you wake up the next day and try again, you are perfect. I want to read you this quote from one of my favorite books. It's called Atomic Habits. And this quote like hit me like a ton of bricks. Hold on. Let me see. That's not it. I thought I had it, and now I'm like, wait a second. Okay, let's see. Sorry about that. Shoot, where is it? Okay. Okay, I will try one more thing. And if I don't find it, that is sad. Okay. Okay, I'm not finding it. Essentially, what he talks about in Atomic Habits is it's okay if you fall off the wagon and you eat an entire pizza one day, but you can't do it twice. You can't do it 2 days in a row. And if you do it 2 days in a row, that's when you truly fail. If you do it once, okay, congratulations, you're human. If you do it twice, you're leading yourself down the path of not succeeding, right? So give yourself the grace and the permission to brush yourself off when things don't go exactly the way you want to. With that said, there are definitely things that you can do to set yourself up for success. One of them being, I just went on a girls' trip for Wednesday through Sunday. It was like 4 nights away from my family. And I'll tell you, in that house, there was like 100% clean food. There was not, even if I wanted to eat bad, there wasn't anything bad to eat. And I'll be real, like we were talking about like goals and limiting beliefs and our mean girl. And we were like identifying all these things. And there was like some emotional stuff that happened. And like, there were definitely times where I was like, I just want to eat my feelings. I totally just want to eat my feelings. But that wasn't even an option because there was nothing in the house to eat that would help me feel better. Right. And it just really was like, I don't know that I've ever had that before. Like, I feel like in my own house, I've like cleaned things up, but I have a husband who loves candy. I have children who love fruit snacks. And guess what? I love fruit snacks. And even on those like hard moments, I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't have like a bag of chips that I can eat or a huge thing of Sour Patch Kids or Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Those are my favorites. I don't have any of those things, but I do still have crap. Like if I really wanted it, I could have an Otter Pop, right? It's not like the worst thing in the world, but I do have some of those in my freezer and I could have a fruit snack, but I don't know if you guys have ever had that where you're like, I just want something crappy, but then you have it and it wasn't even that good. And then you're like, why did I do that? That wasn't even satisfying. That's not even really what I wanted, right? And it just really woke me up this weekend to what it really would look like to have absolutely zero treats in the house. And that would bring a whole new level of accountability. And I don't know how many times I've heard it said from trainers that like, okay, when you're ready to commit, when you're ready to go all in, like get rid of the stuff that tempts you. Get rid of it. Throw it out. If cereal tempts you, no, don't get it. Right? If Oreos tempt you, don't buy them. If ice cream tempts you, don't have ice cream. And thankfully, ice cream really does tempt me, but my husband doesn't like it. And my kids like kind of like it. And so ice cream isn't, I've never had. I think I can count on one hand the times that there has been ice cream in our freezer. And I know that that has helped me stick to my goals so much because that is my biggest temptation. And my husband doesn't like it. And I do not feel justified in buying it for myself. Stephanie says, I was in that house too. And for the first time ever, I never once went to bed with a bloated stomach. When I travel, that just does not happen. So it was an amazing experience for me too. Amen. It was like crazy. It was awesome. And I actually like, I lost weight. Normally when I go on vacation, Haley's like, what? Yeah. Like I lost weight this weekend because we ate so clean and so good. And I woke up today and I mean, normally, especially when I don't get a lot of sleep, because we didn't sleep 6 to 8 hours. Normally when I don't sleep very well, I gain weight too. And it was like crazy to me, like how if I eat so clean and don't have food to eat my feelings that like, okay, it really will help. Laura said, ice cream doesn't tempt me unless it's homemade. Oh, homemade ice cream is like a whole new level of temptation. So I feel you there. Jordan said, amen. We got rid of all the temptation in our house recently and it just feels good and makes it so much easier. Amen. And I will be real. There was a day that we did go buy crumble, but there's a big difference between like, we are intentionally choosing to have a sweet treat. So we're going to go get it versus like, we have a whole bunch of crap and I'm just mindlessly eating because I'm stressed and sad and whatever. Right? Like, when we intentionally choose, I'm treating myself, not cheating, it's awesome, right? So awesome. Oh my gosh. Haley said, I woke up today and lost 4 pounds since Wednesday. Holy cow. That's awesome. And I'm sure a lot of it is Haley went through something awesome this weekend. And I'm sure a lot of it was also stress released. So that's really cool. Laura says, my biggest temptation is baking. Like I want to make brownies or cookies. So I try hard not to have all the ingredients in my house for that reason. Amen. When I bake something, it's like, next level goodness. So good. So get rid of it. If you're really trying to be good and you want to set yourself up for success, get rid of the things in your house that tempt you. Don't even buy them. And there's a book written by Shaun T. He's one of our trainers. He's the Insanity Max 30 hip hop abs insanity guy, size. And in his book, he talked about like parents blaming their kids for loving all this sugary stuff. Hello, I just did it. But he was like, but who's the one who bought it? Like your kid didn't drive themselves to the grocery store and pay for it. Like you bought it. You bought it for them. And are you going to have to like deal with the repercussions of your kid like being, one second, hold on. I'm sorry. My son has been on one today. I don't even know where I was. Get rid of it. What was I saying? I don't even know. Does anybody remember what I was saying? Okay. It's okay. Get rid of it. If something is tempting you in your house, just get rid of it because it will totally help you to make better decisions, to make better choices. There's this book that I'm listening to right now called Unf Yourself. And it's all about like realizing as human beings that we're very messed up and we just sitting in the suck to recognize what is wrong with you and helping yourself to identify it so you can flip it and heal. And I wish it was called something else because I know that title turns away a lot of people. But it really is a very powerful book and I love it. Laura said, yes, if my kids want to treat like ice cream, I take them to get a single thing versus keeping junk for them in the house. Yes. And that helps me remember what I was talking about. Shaun T in his book, he talked about like when you go grocery shopping, you're the one that buys it. And yes, you might have to have that hard conversation with them and they might be screaming and crying and very upset with you when you tell them why you don't have it in the house. But if you are consistent, just like anything else in parenthood, right? Like you don't just give your kid whatever they want just because they're screaming and crying about it, right? You have to teach them discipline and you have to teach them to sleep in their own room and you have to teach them that you don't get to throw a tantrum in the middle of Walmart just because you want this toy. And the same thing is true of nutrition, right? Sometimes we just cave easier because we want it too. And so if you're truly trying to change your own nutritional habits, there's nothing wrong with trying to help your children at the same time and your spouse as well. Obviously your spouse might be a little more difficult because not a kid and you're not their parent. But it's definitely not a bad thing to try to help your family to be a little healthier too. And he also Shaun T talked about fast food. Like who's the one that pulled up to the fast food place? Who's the one that didn't prepare? Who's the one that pulled up to McDonald's instead of Chick-fil-A where there's like a lot less healthy choices, right? Whatever. Like you have a lot more say in it than sometimes we let ourselves. Laura said, yes, it's hard. I need to do better about some of the treats. We all do. It's all good. Okay, so back to Unf Yourself. Sorry, I remembered what I was talking about and then I needed to get back to it. There's this whole chapter, which is so good, about being willing versus being unwilling. And he goes into recognizing what are you willing to do? And if you find yourself 50 pounds overweight or 100 pounds overweight or 20 pounds overweight, clearly you're willing to be overweight. And he talks about like, now before you get myself all upset and in a tizzle, right? Like, and think I'm the meanest person ever. Like, truly sit there and be honest with yourself. If you weren't willing to be 20 pounds overweight, to be 50 pounds overweight, to be 100 pounds overweight, whatever you find yourself, whatever situation you find yourself in, you wouldn't be overweight. You're clearly willing to be overweight because you're making certain choices that have led you to the spot that you are. And you need to be honest with yourself about that. And he gives an example of like this person who has a six-pack. And he says, like, it's okay to admit you are unwilling to eat the way is required for your abs to pop like that. Because that doesn't just happen with exercise. Trust me, I've been exercising 6 days a week for 12 years and I don't have no six-pack, right? The people that I know who have a six-pack, they eat a very specific way. And to me, I had to tell myself, you know what? I am unwilling to eat that way. So guess what that also means? I am unwilling to have a six-pack. And you know what? That's okay. You just have to switch it in your brain so that when you see that picture of a person with a six-pack, you're not now coveting them. And you're not like, I wish I had a six-pack. Because no, I don't. Because I am unwilling to eat that way. And I loved that, like, it clicked in my head. And the same thing is true of like, okay, we see someone who has whatever they have, whether it's this nice car or this nice house or this nice whatever, but what we don't see is the work that it took to get there. And if you look at them and you're like, ugh, why don't I have a house like that? And then you sit there and think, okay, well, they work 80 hours a week, or they never see their dad, or they never blah, 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 right? You just have to like, okay, but I am unwilling. Could we have a house like that if my husband went to med school and he became a doctor and I never saw him? Yeah, we could have a house like that. We could go on vacations like that. I am unwilling to never see my husband. So I need to make sure that I'm grateful for where I am because of the things that I have, and not covet what I want on the outside without being willing to do the work that it takes to have that end result. I hope this is making sense. He says it very, very well. And it just was a really big wake-up call, a really good wake-up call for me when it came to my own personal journey, when it came to the things that I have as a wife, as a mom, in my home, all those things. And even some of the goals that I push for on a yearly basis. When I set a goal, I have to ask myself, am I willing to do the work that it takes to achieve that goal? And it's okay to admit, actually, no, I'm unwilling. And therefore I can change my goal to make it match up. And it's also equally powerful to do unwilling as your greatest strength. So, little vulnerability moment. I had an unwilling moment when I was in my backyard. My little sister and brother-in-law were here visiting, and we were $800 short on our mortgage. And we had used our emergency fund because life had fallen through. My husband became an entrepreneur and he got screwed over, pardon my French, in his first couple months as an entrepreneur. And he did a $3,000 job for someone and they never paid him. And anyways, it was this like awful time. It was Christmas time. We had to, like, people gave us money so that we could buy our children Christmas presents. It was so awful. It was so awful. And I never, ever want to go back there ever. February, I had to call my older sister to ask her for $800 to pay my mortgage. And I was, 4 or 5 days overdue at this point, with my third kid. And it just hit me like, oh my gosh, this sucks. And I am unwilling to ever do this again. I am unwilling to ever have to call someone to ask them to pay for my mortgage. And I drew that line in the sand because I realized I am unwilling to do this. I am going to do my part. I have this awesome opportunity at my fingertips. I've seen a million people before me be successful at this. I know if I apply myself, I can do it. So therefore I leaned in, and I leaned into my income opportunity and my work. And since then, things are getting so much better. And we were able to pay off $5,000 in credit card debt and pay off our mortgage, and not pay off. That would be awesome. We don't own our house yet, but things have changed in the last 5 months because I drew that line in the sand and I told myself I am unwilling to ever have to do this again. And so it just comes down, and this totally is applicable to your own journey. Just recognizing, what are you willing to do when it comes to your nutrition, when it comes to your exercise, and what are you unwilling to do? And my dad, love him dearly, but he's in his early 50s and he's in a nursing home. He's had 2 heart attacks and 3 strokes, and I am unwilling to ever be like that. And so that is why I am so obsessed with nutrition, exercise, all the things, because I am unwilling to be a 50, I think he's 56. I honestly lose track. I know what year he was born. He was born in 63. So yes, I'm pretty sure he's 56. He's 55. He'll be 56 in December. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I actually think he'll be 57 in December. It doesn't matter. He's not that old, and he's in a nursing home, and he's like had a really hard life. And it has just really woken me up to, I am willing to follow Ultimate Portion Fix for the rest of my life, because I am unwilling to have heart attacks and strokes and be in a nursing home when I'm in my 50s and be unable to play with my grandchildren, right? I'm not willing to eat the way that you have to eat if you want a 6-pack, but I am willing to do what I need to do to take care of my health, so that I can keep myself healthy for the long term. So I hope that makes sense. Yes, I want you to figure out what you are willing to do, what you are unwilling to do in your health, in your nutrition, in all your things. If you need to, get rid of the stuff that's tempting you. Ask people for help around you. I know I am participating in the health bet that I did a call about a few weeks ago. I officially started today, and I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about the accountability that we have in our group. I'm so excited to start 21 days of a program. I mean, I'm almost already done with day 1, and that's crazy to me. So truly, truly, truly do the things that you can do to set yourself up for success. But if you are human and you make mistakes, just know that you can brush yourself off, and you are perfect if you never give up and if you keep trying. Okay. I missed a couple comments in the chat, so I will read those. Laura said, yes, love this. We have that conversation a lot. We could live somewhere else where he could make double the income, but we aren't willing to live somewhere else. Same concept. You have to be willing to make the sacrifice that matches the goal. Amen. Amen. Jordan said, yes, love this. It's such a great way to look at things. You have to be willing to make the necessary sacrifices in order to achieve those goals. Yes, 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 yes. Laura said, yes, that's my why too. I look at my mom's health and I'm unwilling to be 60 and unable to walk up the stairs. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. I knew I liked you. We got similar goals. Jordan said, mind blown right now. Just the unwillingness statement puts everything into perspective. So excited about the health bet and the challenge. The commitment to my health has me so excited. Amen. Seriously. I know, like I said, like the book Un-F Yourself, it sounds like the F word's going to be in there a lot, and it is in there. I'm not going to lie to you. The F word is in that book, but that book has changed my life. And, sometimes people use words that I don't choose to use, but that's okay. And that book, I'm so grateful that I didn't judge a book by its cover and I gave it a chance, because it really has blessed and changed my life. So if you're willing to, if you're willing to get past a couple of F-bombs, and they are in a Scottish accent. I don't know if that helps you at all, but it helps me a little bit that they're in a Scottish accent. It makes it less awful for some reason. But I personally chose to be willing to disregard a few F-bombs because I had heard so many good things about that book, and I'm grateful that I did because it has taught me so much. I'm sorry. I'm trying to reach for my charger. Okay. That is all I have for you today. I love you. I believe in you. Never give up on yourself, on your journey. Remember why you're here. Ask yourself, what are you willing to do? Ask yourself what you're unwilling to do. And always, 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 please, please, please know that you are loved. Know that you are welcome in our accountability group. Know that we believe in you. Know that we're here to cheer you on. And we got this. Yeah. All my recording people, I will see you next week. You are always welcome to join us live. If you're on live, let's stay on and we'll chat for a bit. And I will see you guys later. Bye.